Welcome back to the Citizen channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And the first preview show of a new season, the 2022-23 season. Yeah, it's going to be a bit disrupted, this one, isn't it, with the old World Cup halfway through? But I did sort of suggest that we have two Premier Leagues this year, one pre-Christmas and one after Christmas, and have two titles up for grabs so we could win a couple. But yeah, that sort of fell on stony ground, that's for sure. So we're going to have a look at Liverpool versus the wonderful, incredible Club City, of course. Community Shield, 30th of July. I'm already thinking the second part of the season. King Power Stadium, kick-off 5 p.m. My first trip to the King Power, yes, I've never been before, so I still wouldn't have been to see Leicester and City. I went to Filbert Street 3 or 4 times, but never been to the King Power, so I'm looking forward to that. Live on ITV1, of course. 131st Charity Shield, I think. I think we've been in about 13, haven't we? That's not many, is it? We'll have to improve on that. So let's have a look, and please, hopefully you can join me for these preview shows. We'll have a look at Liverpool, have a look at us, come up with my starting 11. Love to hear your starting 11s. I'll try and come up with some reasons for my starting 11s. It's an interesting one today. Obviously, I've been looking on Twitter at other people's views of who's going to play, and sort of a few discrepancies, let's say. Right, let's get on with it. All right, the match odds, quickly, please. I don't condone gambling or when the fun stops. But the match odds, City, as you'd expect, are odds against, but our favourites, that'll do for me. And anything odds against is always good. You can get a 6-4 if you shop around for City to actually win in 90 minutes. Don't forget, this is 90 minutes odds. The draw is 7-4. You can get that with Bet365. Always a possibility when we meet Liverpool, certainly a couple of times last season. And yeah, Liverpool fans, if you want a punt, 5-2 for Liverpool to win it. That's reasonable value. Obviously, I was watching the Klopp press conference yesterday. Not very overly exciting, but obviously the Liverpool fans appear on the chat to be very confident of what's going to go on. So that's certainly 5-2 will be worth that. And of course, let's talk about Liverpool. Let's talk about Klopp's press conference. Nothing much really came out of that. Obviously, the injuries, which we'll talk about in a minute. But basically, this game, if you win, it's important. If you don't, it's not. And I think that just about sums it up, doesn't it? It's just, it's nice to win it. He wants to win it because he's never won it before. But it doesn't make a lot of difference to the season coming up, really. And of course, Liverpool are expected again to be City's biggest challengers. Pep was asked about that as well. We'll get onto that in his little brief sum up of his press conference as well, before the embargoes, of course. Yeah, so Liverpool have been busier than City playing the friendlies, that's for sure. We've only managed 2. They've managed a bit more than that. On the 12th of July, they're in Thailand, and not the greatest start to get beaten by that lot across the road. A sort of strongest United lineup, but they got stuffed 4-0. Klopp did what he tended to do in all this pre-season. He's been making a lot of changes and playing a lot of kids as well. A bit of a mishmash from Klopp. But they did bounce back. They beat Palace 2-0 on the 15th of July in Singapore. So they've done a bit of travelling as well. And they fancied a bit of bully, so a couple of bully games, because they played RB Leipzig, Red Bull Leipzig, not allowed to call them Red Bull because they're German, but RB Leipzig, they beat them 5-0. With Nunes, the butt of a lot of jokes, a lot of videos circulating, him missing chances, etc., scoring 4 in that game, so that wasn't too shabby. Let's hope if he plays tomorrow. There's a lot of people think he won't play anyway in the Community Shield. As I'm recording this, it's tomorrow. Let's hope he doesn't score 4 tomorrow. On the 27th of July, a bit more bully, because he went over to Salzburg, the Austrian version. And lost 1-0. Really should have won that game. They missed a lot of chances. He created a lot of chances, missed a lot. Nunes was on the pitch for a lot of the time and didn't back up his 4-0, his 4 goals in the other game, that's for sure. But surprisingly enough, after City, they do play on Sunday night as well. They play against Strasbourg. I think that's at Anfield. I don't know if it's behind closed doors. I'm not too sure. I know it's on LFC TV, but I don't know if there's tickets for that, or you might know better than me. But it just seems a bit odd playing City on the Saturday and then playing again Sunday. So whether it's more for the under 23s or something, I don't know. But Klopp did mention it in his press conference. So as far as I can see, it's like a test game, and he perhaps just wants to try something out that he's not going to try out at the Community Shield. We'll have to see. He's already claimed in another article that City will win the title, which is fair enough. I mean, most people, apart from Liverpool fans, probably are saying that, apart from the delusional United fans, I know one or two claiming this could be their year and all this sort of thing. But yeah, despite him having world beaters in every position, of course, Klopp is saying it's for City's really, it's City are the favourites. And of course, yeah, this are after changes he made. Against Salzburg, he swapped 10 players in the last game he played where they lost 1-0. Perhaps he thought the writing was on the wall, we were going to get beat, and made it look as though it wasn't going to be too bad. But however way you look at it, he always likes to play a little bit of mind games, doesn't he, Klopp? But and I think for this Community Shield again, is hoping for the best, preparing for the worst, and if they do get beat, he's not going to make a big thing of it, and hopefully the press won't either. Will he field his strongest 11? I think it'll be pretty close, apart from his injuries, of course, which we'll mention in a sec. I doubt he'll make 10 substitutions unless it's really gone to pot and he's getting stuffed, and he'll try and find any excuse to say, oh, well, I played the kids, even though they might have been getting beat. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think he will try and play a strong 11, but obviously this Sunday night game, perhaps he'll play a strong 11 against Strasbourg and won't play against City. As I said, the Community Shield, I think he wants to win it, so I think he will go fairly strong because it is the only domestic trophy Klopp hasn't won in his time at Liverpool. And of course, that'll check off that last domestic box. Some people are claiming it's obviously the 3 trophies, but this is a new season, so it doesn't count with the League Cup and the FA Cup. It's a totally new season, this, so he has to start again. But there you go. It's not a domestic cup treble because it's a different season, guys. So I have seen that being claimed on various social media sites. They have won this, though, an impressive 15 times, the Charity Shield or Community Shield as well, to our 6. Yeah, even Spurs have won it 7 times, so come on, City, we can't let Spurs have something over us, can they? So we'll have to equal that tomorrow, please. Let's get it at 7. Injury-wise, yeah, as I say, Jota's out. Alisson is struggling. He should be back for the Fulham game next week. Oxlade-Chamberlain's a bit of a long-term injury, isn't he? But yeah, Alisson is back training, but he's not going to be playing. So they've got Adrian, of course, because the number 2 last season, Kelleher, I don't know how it's pronounced, but he's out injured as well. So Adrian's been playing on this tour, and he'll probably play, of course, at the King Power tomorrow. So yeah, Liverpool, interesting. It'll be interesting to see what team they come out with. I think it'll be fairly strong, but I just think, I don't know. I think based on the fact Pep is going to go strong, and I think Klopp will think Pep will go strong. I think he might just edge his bets a bit, Klopp. He might stick a couple of sort of odd ones in there just to sort of try and get away with things if it isn't going right. But we'll see. We'll see. He's not daft, is he, Klopp? He knows how to try and keep the media and his fans on his own side. So that brings us on to City then, really, doesn't it? What about Pep? Yeah, his press conference, just a quick word on that. He won't be drawn on challenges to City's title, that's for sure. He won't be drawn on that. It's far too early. He didn't come up with any names whatsoever, really, even though he was pushed by the journal. He was asked about Cucurella, and of course his simple answer was that he's still a Brighton player because he was told he'd been put in a transfer request, and Pep just commented that he's still a Brighton player, full stop. End of conversation. Yeah, and the 3 players got an effect. And he said, yeah, I mean, he did say, obviously, those players have been important to us over the last few seasons, but what we move forward with what we have is just philosophical, and that's all he can say. What's he got to say? Oh, we're going to struggle, even though we brought in blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's what you'd expect. New players, asked about the new players bedding in. Will it be? I mean, we always say they need a season with Pep, don't they? I mean, and then we get all disgruntled if they suddenly don't hit the ground running, don't they? We get Grealish is a failure. He's a failure because he's not scored 20 goals and had 15 assists this season. But he was asked about that, and he just said, obviously, the quicker the better, which he's bound to say, and he's confident with what he's seen that they will settle down quite quickly. I think he'll take it easier with Alvarez and Haaland, definitely. I think Phillips might get a bit more of a push, perhaps, in Alvarez and Haaland, even obviously they're key to the new forward lineup, if you like. And he was asked on Laporte, it looks as though we won't see him in proper action until September, looking at what he was saying. He's obviously had knee surgery, so they're not going to rush it back, anything trouble with the knee. So it could be September time. So that brings us about to, so what he's going, how he's going to play this. I think Pep will go strong in this, guys. I think he's still a bit, I won't say he was angry, but still a bit fed up that he didn't have Gundogan, Foden and Stones available on the tour. Certainly Gundogan and Foden, I think, would have seen plenty of time. Stones might have seen some game time as well, although he didn't particularly finish up as his main centre-half partnership. We noticed Laporte and Diaz, but at the moment, I'd love to see Diaz and Stones sort of linking up at the start of the season. But, as I say, he's not been getting any games, Stones, so that I think that's on the back burner unless he plays in tomorrow. Despite only playing 2 games on this season tour, he didn't make that many substitutions, as in key times in the game. Certainly in the first game, he did a lot more. In the second game, I think it was more trying to find his pattern, trying to find his style of play. So, as far as those 3 guys we've mentioned there, I doubt, unless anyone's been impressing in training, I just don't think they'll start this game. I just don't think they'll start the Community Shield. As I say, we don't know. We'll have to get a view of Pep as the season goes on. It's hard to tell at this early stage. And neither do I expect, I know we're all clamouring for the youngsters to play, aren't we? We're all clamouring for McAtees and the Cole Palmers to play. But I can't see any of those particularly getting in the starting 11. Of the guys used in the US, of course, possibly Wilson Esbrand came out of it the best, didn't he? And it is a position at this point in time that was struggling. We've got literally two right backs now left. In theory, we don't have a decent left back in the squad or someone who can play left back, apart from Wilson Esbrand, if you like. Obviously, we don't talk about another gentleman who's will never see the light of day again. But all right, Cancelo is a great left back. He's certainly better left back than right back for me, but it's a funny position, isn't it? So it wouldn't surprise me if he gets a start against Liverpool, but it wouldn't, and it would. It would surprise me, but it wouldn't. I wouldn't either. But I just don't think. I think I'd be quite happy starting Walker and Cancelo. So Wilson has Brandon miss out. But a bit more on that when I give the team in a minute. Stefan, started against Leicester last season, didn't he? So you think does that mean Ortega's going to start in this one? I doubt it. I think Ederson will be starting in this one. We were playing with an undercooked squad last season, weren't we? So not a lot of excuse this time. We even had a Dozier in the Leicester Community Shield as well. People like that. So I don't think we're as undercooked this year. So as I said, I think of the squad that went to the US, literally there's only going to be a sort of 1 or 2 changes to that team that played against Bayern Munich for me anyway. So there you go. I expect Pep to go strong without the trio we've mentioned, Foden, Gundo and Stones, who are all I think are all key players within the squad. But it will be interesting. And of course, he'll also have one eye on West Ham away. I know it's a week after, but so I think his starting 11 will have one eye on that as well, on what he's going to start in that game. And I doubt there'll be a raft of subs unless we're sort of losing 3 or 4-0 or winning 3 or 4-0. So we'll have to see on that one. So here's the team and any sort of comments. Obviously, I'm going to stick Ederson in goal, aren't I? I mean, Ortega will be a big surprise. I've seen him in a few people's teams, but I don't think he'll get a start now. Ortega, I don't know when the Carabao Cup kicks off. I think that's the first time we'll see him, or that Barcelona friendlies before that. I think we'll probably see him in that. I don't think we'll see Ortega tomorrow in the Community Shield. As I said, Pep's Pep, you never know, but I'd be very, very surprised. The back 4 after, I'm playing safe with this, saying Walker, Diaz, Aki and Cancelo are my back 4. As I said, Wilson Esbrand is a clear possibility given the lack of options we've got now. And he could even start Cancelo at right back and not play Walker. Have Aki at left back and bring Phillips in as a centre half as well. So you know that is a possibility because he's tried Phillips there as well. So you never know. But against Liverpool, against a team of that ability that we know they've got, is he going to start messing around like that? All right, Diaz, Aki's not the tallest guy at the back against a couple of big Liverpool lads, but. I still think Walker, Diaz and Aki and Cancel is probably the way to go without a fit Laporte, certainly for a couple of months. He's got to think of what we're going to do when we start the Premier League defence as well. And as I said, I'd love to see Stones in there. I'd love to see Walker, Diaz, Stones and Cancelo, or even as I said, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones and Aki. perhaps as a back four with Aki playing on the left. But yeah, I just don't see Stones doing it because of missing out on the US thing. I just don't think he'll do it because of. But having said that, if he thinks he's going to play him against West Ham, he'll have to, won't he? He'll have to get some minutes in the tank. Mbeti as well was there. Mbeti was there in the US, but I certainly don't. I think Mbeti will have a while to wait yet before he starts getting into these sort of games. And then the middle three, if you like, the midfield three, which can chop and change with the striking three at times. Probably apart from Rodri, of course. I've got Rodri, Bernardo, and KDB, of course, as the three with Rodri. The defensive midfield, Bernardo doing his usual ball carrying, and KDB. Yeah, even though gets a bit more release, say, with Phillips was playing, but he certainly won't get that option against Liverpool, I don't think. And I think those three, Rodri, Bernardo and KDB, depending, I mean, I'm not saying they're all going to play in that middle position around there, but I think those three are set in stone for the Community Shield. And West Ham as well. West Ham coming up, I say Phillips may be risk for Rodri, but I doubt it, not at this stage. Foden, Gundogan, of course, could play in there, or along there, or on the nearer the front three as well. They may have impressed in training and earned a spot somewhere, but I'll say not. And I think Palmer will have to be more patient as well. His time will come, but again in the cup competitions, I think this season. So that's Rodri, Bernardo, and KDB, and that leaves with the front three, which again some people want to see Haaland, don't they? But I've gone with Grealish, Alvarez, and Mahrez. And obviously, as I said, I've covered Gundogan and Foden, who easily could obviously fill in one or two of those spots up top as well, with Grealish and Mahrez starting both in the US. Why would he change? Why is he going to change that? Why would he do anything different? But Alvarez, yeah, for me, I think Haaland's going to be a bit more. Brought in gently. Might be totally wrong. He has carried a knock or two, hasn't he, recently? And he's okay. But I think he'll be gentle with him. He had a lot of injuries last season as well. And I think he'll be weaned in a little bit. And against Liverpool, I think the lively Alvarez for me will be fine. Is a great. I mean, Haaland's a great option, of course he is. But I think the lively Alvarez will sort of turn and mess around with that Liverpool defence as well. So I think that'll be a good move to play Alvarez against Liverpool anyway. But. Yeah, he could even start Alvarez on the right, of course, instead of Mahrez, and Haaland up top, and that's fine by me as well if you wanted to do that. So there you go. Basically, I'm going with this team, but as I said, if we get 7 or 8 of these, I'll be quite happy. Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Aki, Cancelo, Rodri, Bernardo, KDB, Grealish, Alvarez, and Mahrez. And so basically, the only real changes to that team over the Bayern Munich game is obviously Wilson Esbrand steps down, and Haaland steps down, so you've got Alvarez and you've got Walker coming back in, and then Cancelo moving across because he played more on the right side, didn't he, against Bayern Munich. So really, basically, only 2 changes to the Bayern Munich starting 11. So as I said, if I get 7 or 8, I'll be quite happy with that. Let me know what you think, guys. As I say, I think I've covered all the main guys. I don't think there's anyone I missed, or there might be some kids I've missed, or probably Bernard, what about such and such? But I think I've covered. I think I've covered all the main guys. You lose track, and it's not a bad squad as long as everyone's fit. We're fine. There's lots of options. Obviously, we'll start getting injuries. We'll start having limited amounts of players to pick from, and the sooner he gets people like Gundo, Foden, and Stones back up to speed, the better for the squad as a whole. As I say, we've got one more friendly, and then it's in it. We're in it, aren't we, guys? We're in a tough game at West Ham, of course. So please join me for that. I'll be doing the player ratings and match report. Will follow, of course, on Sunday, the 31st of July. I'll be doing my live little show on Monday night, 7 p.m. UK time, to talk about the Community Shield, perhaps do some player ratings, and come up with some players for the West Ham game once we see what Peps done with this Community Shield. So if you can join me, even for 5 or 10 minutes, great to see a few of you last week, please. That'd be great to see on the Citizen Channel live show. Monday night, 7 p.m. And hope you enjoyed this today. Let me know your teams, let me know your thoughts. Be great to hear from you. As I say, it's all opinions, isn't it? And yeah, I've been looking at a few on Twitter and commenting and stuff. And yeah, as I say, if that team I've put there, will it win it? It's good enough to win it. But you don't know. It could all go to the lottery of penalties again, couldn't it? We just don't know. Anyway, if you see me there, guys, please, if you are going to Leicester tomorrow and you see me, come and say hello. Say hello, Ben. How are you? Are you all right? Anyway, let me know your comments, and it'd be great to. I'll see you again on Sunday with the match report and the player ratings. Hopefully, when we bring that old shield back to the Etihad and we level up with Tottenham, eh? There you go. So we've got to level up on with them, haven't we? Poor old spuds. There you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Please, until we meet again, stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Bye for now.